When you have conversations about minimal phones, you'll hear the same thing over and over. I love that, I wish I could do that, I just need fill-in-the-blank app so that I can do fill-in-the-blank thing. Your bus and train ticket apps to get to work, banking apps, scanning QR codes, a good camera, theater ticket apps. These are all things that make life easier, but a lot of phones
There's only one king.
make you throw them out in the name of disconnecting. Well, what if I told you there was a phone with a curated app store and a locked down browser so that you can keep all the phone tools you need while being focused on life?
It's called the SLEKE phone. With a curated app store, you can request the apps you really need, an answer-based browser with 3 million browser blockers for trackers and not safe for work content. It's de-Googled, and the guys who made it are extremely available. Right, Austin?
Yeah, sometimes overly available, but we're always here for you.
Now, SLEKE phones are refurbished Google Pixels running their own operating system called Odyssey. It's de-Googled with micro G services, and this is cool for a few reasons. First of all, privacy and distraction-free settings are built down into the root of the phone, so you can't take them out. Secondly, Google Pixels are known to have really great cameras. This is the first phone for disconnecting I've ever owned that has a 10-bit log camera for video, and that's ridiculous. It reduces e-waste, which is a huge issue, and it gives this device some new life instead of a landfill. And finally, it gives you Google features without Google tracking. That might be my favorite one of all. Now, there are two complaints about that I see online. The first being, well, why not just release it as its own OS that I can download? But it's not meant to be something you uninstall and reinstall. This is for people without self-control, so you need a whole new device, and that's me, so it's perfect. The other complaint is, why a Google Pixel 7? I mean, it's a couple years old, can't we get a new device? To which I say, why? There's nothing this thing can do on this OS that it needs all that power for. And like we said, the camera's great and it reduces e-waste, so it's kind of the perfect phone for it. Now, it's kind of weird to review the phone's hardware because it's built on the Google Pixel. So whatever the Google Pixel 7 is, this is exactly that. So it makes the most sense to check out how the OS is different and what they've actually done to make it distraction-free. The phone runs on Android, so opening it, unlocking it, all of those things run exactly the same, including all of your notifications and phone settings. It's just Android. But the home screen itself has all your notifications as soon as you open the phone. This is the home page. It's a lot like dragging down and seeing your notifications there. As soon as you unlock the phone, you've got your notifications, which took me just a little bit of time to get used to, but I love it now because I don't want to open my home screen and see all of my apps laid out. As for the App Store itself, it's called the SLEKE Store, and it runs on its own kind of special version of Aurora. So if you know the Aurora Store, it's exactly the same, but it's got curated apps, which means you can sign in with Google, or you can sign in anonymously, and Google has no clue either way what apps you're downloading. Finally. You're taken to a long app list of the apps that you can download on the phone. There are also apps that SLEKE has made, like a general banking app that connects to all the banking web pages you could ever need. And then your app updates for the ones you already have installed. Now, just to be clear, this curated store has only tools that you need to get by. So no distracting apps at all, but it does have surprising apps to me. If you volunteer at your church, you've got the Planning Center app. If you shoot on Sony cameras like I do, you've got the Sony Creators app, or Family Album, so I can share photos of my kids without putting them on social media. For both my bathroom and kitchen scales, I've got the VSync app. But let's say for a moment there's an app that you need that they don't have. There are multiple ways to request an app be added, and as long as it's useful and not distracting, The answer will probably be yes, and you will probably get it just within a couple of days. There are 3 ways to request an app. The first one is from the home page to come to the left-hand side and hit report or suggest. The other way to do it is to email them, or, as Austin said when I asked about it, just send them as a text. Now let's talk about the search feature on this phone. The search button down here is where we can check the whole phone for anything, settings, contacts, or ask a question. So I can look up my calculator, I can have a contact's number there, or I can look up how to play bowling. And I'll get results from Perplexity. Now the really cool thing is that you can also request a link, and Perplexity will give you the answer as well as a link to the source that you're talking about. So it's kind of like a private AI and browser and Apple's Spotlight all mixed into one. Calling and texting are all normal as well, with emojis and GIFs and delayed sending. Now with the old phones, if I got like an Instagram link, I would try to type it letter by letter next time I was at the computer, which is miserable. But with this one, since there are so many synced up apps, I just copy it, put it in Beeper, and then on my laptop, I can watch it whenever. And that's just for social media. If someone sends me a link to a recipe, I can still open it. Now we can see all of our apps on the right-hand side by clicking this 4 square button. I've got all my apps right there, and as an example, I asked them to add things like FitNotes to track my workouts, Habits, Joplin, Komoot, Pocket Guard. I asked for a ton, and they were just really quick and responsive to put them in there because these are all tools that I like. The app page itself has got 2 really cool, handy features. The first one here is that you can scan QR codes up in the top right. And the second one is that you can hide apps by holding one down and clicking the hide button. Now, where are hidden apps? Great question. They're in 2 places. The first one is if you hold down on the word apps, all your hidden apps are revealed and you can see them when you scroll down. The second place that they are is in the general phone search. So I've hidden some things like the camera because I can just double click the right side button and the camera's up. That's the beauty of Android. Or apps that I don't use a lot and I don't want to muddy up my app page, I can just search for. Now let's talk about the browser because it is my favorite feature of this phone. Yes, it's got a browser. Yes, you can use it. No, you cannot get distracted with it. Let me explain. Any single link that you type out in a note or in a text is clickable. When you hold it down, you've got an open button right there. It recognizes it's a link. But depending on what the link is, when you open it, you're going to get a big ol' no from SLEKE. And that's the point. They've got over 3 million blockers for social media, distracting websites, not safe for work websites. So it's completely locked down. But then what's the point of a browser? Well, because there's a few things you can do. We already saw that the search feature can send clickable links to certain things like recipes or rules. But let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, a few weeks ago, I was on a college campus because a friend of mine had an art gallery going up in one of their art buildings. Now, I don't know if you've ever been on a college campus, but some of the big ones are wildly confusing. So I knew where the campus was, I didn't know where the building was. So I asked the search, send me a clickable link to the online map for such and such school. And it did. And I opened it and I got this interactive map where I could see all the buildings and find exactly where I had to go. And that's the point of this phone. To help you, because with other distraction-free phones, I'd be up a creek navigating a specific college campus, but not distract you. The battery, by the way, incredible, because it's running so few background tasks. Without all these things tracking you and running in the background and doing this and doing that, it just lasts, even though it's not an e-ink screen. So if you're using it, moderately, you could get 2, 3, maybe 4 days out of it if you push it. But if I go to bed and the battery's at 30%, I'm really not stressed about using it for the rest of the following morning. Now, a phone, a device just feels different when you know the guys who've made it. There's a huge difference between sticking a Samsung or Apple in my pocket and knowing it's this huge company making their 15 millionth phone for me to buy versus, hey, I personally know the two guys who put this thing together and they're pretty cool and they made this to help me disconnect. It's a whole different vibe. In the end, I'm incredibly grateful to have this phone. It's amazing to have the apps I need like Venmo and Maps, and equally as amazing to not have the apps I don't need like Facebook and Instagram. It really is the solution to disconnecting and focusing while not having the apps that distract you from navigating life.
Can you take your turn now?
Sorry.